This is Share the Vision, presented by the Resource Center, a discussion of the programs and services of the Resource Center and about issues related to individuals with disabilities. Today, Steve Watterson, Community Relations Director at the Resource Center, tells me we'll be doing two shows in one. Steve, we begin here at the administrative offices on Dunham Avenue. What's our first mission of the day?
Our first mission of the day, Dennis, is to inform the audience about our 7th annual Toys for Tots charity ball that's going to be taking place next weekend.
And then, after that, for the second half of the show?
After that, we'll take a trip down to the Michael J. Raymond Center and talk with Kristen Paduano-McNitt, who's our art instructor here at the Resource Center, and she's going to be discussing the second annual Art Life Conference that she has put together, which is taking place on November 8th.
Well, first, welcome to Terry Johnson, one of the coordinators for Toys for Tots here at the Resource Center. You really work throughout the year, throughout Chautauqua County to make this event happen. As we talk in late October, you must be getting very cranked up now.
We are. We're going to be down to the wire. As soon as our kickoff event is next weekend, we'll be full steam ahead for the rest of the season.
You have developed a reputation over time for doing things in a sort of dramatic, exciting fashion at Toys for Tots that really engages the community, whether it's in your basic appeal or in the holiday parade or your kickoff. What's going to happen this year, he asks tentatively, for the kickoff, and where will it be? Give us the full detail, Terry.
Well, we're having our 7th annual charity ball at the Robert H. Jackson Center again on November 2nd, and it's going to be at 7 p.m., and it's, again, going to be a variety show, as we've had the last few years, and variety is really the key word there, because we have a lot of different things going on this year that we haven't had in the past.
Oh, really? Well, please tell us more.
We have a lot of new performers. We're going to have 2 different dance groups. One is going to be doing a Grease medley of sorts, and it's been led up by Bruce Main, who works at the Resource Center, and a team of young ladies that he has corralled to dance with him in the performance. And we have a few singing acts. We have Brianne Cotillis and Jesse Anderson are going to be singing. We have Kennedy Woods, Adam McKillop. They're all going to be doing some different Christmas music. And then we have a barbershop quartet that will be performing. We have Gaffar Adams Karate Academy that's going to be doing some martial arts to some Christmas music. We have the Sweet Teas of TRC. I hope I'm saying that right. It's Tess Kersner's choreographed a dance group. And I actually got to see a sneak peek of their performance last week at a rehearsal, and it looks like it's going to be very enjoyable and entertaining for everybody. And then the Lights of Broadway is going to be back again this year to do what they do best. And I don't really know what they're going to do. I just know they'll make everybody laugh. And Jeff Kreisky and Jason Williams from the Lights of Broadway are also going to be emceeing the event for us again this year. And we have Wake Up Productions that's going to be doing a original musical comedy sketch for us.
Not since the Ed Sullivan Show on CBS. Older listeners may remember that very well. I certainly do. Not since Ed Sullivan has there been such a variety show, and this is presented live for people in Jamestown at the Jackson Center. What's the date again?
Saturday, November 2nd.
Starting at?
7 p.m. is going to be hors d'oeuvres and our auction items, and then the show will begin at 8.
And what's the ticket price? How can people get in the seats? It's a limited number of seats available in that theater, so call now. Don't delay.
Absolutely. Every year the show has been sold out. The tickets are $25 a person, and they are on sale. Somebody can come to the Resource Center here at 200 Dunham Avenue, or they can call me at 661-1044, and I'd be happy to get them set up. But it is a sold-out show every year, so we want to emphasize that people will need their tickets ahead of time. So please give us a call, and we'll get you your tickets as soon as possible.
As we speak on the last weekend of October, just a week before the show, are there still some tickets available now?
There still are some tickets available, so if they call us soon, they'll probably be in luck.
Monday morning, I would get to the Resource Center, a call for those tickets. And, of course, you do all of this with fanfare and fun and a lot of excitement for a serious and significant purpose.
Absolutely. All of this is to raise money for our Chautauqua County Toys for Tots program. The Resource Center has been coordinating this for going on 14 years now, and all of the money stays local, and we use that to purchase toys for the children of Chautauqua County that may not get them otherwise.
Let's broaden the discussion a little bit then, and we will, before our time finishes, get back to the kickoff event one more time. But the mission this year, as you are designing or laying out the rest of the Toys for Tots campaign and drive, anything new, different, anything you want to make us aware of right now, Terry?
One of the biggest things that's going to probably throw everybody for a loop this year is our Toy Central location is changing. We are going to be at the train station.
Oh, how exciting.
So we're really excited about that. The address that we are giving out to people is 211 West 2nd Street. So that's where we're going to do everything out of. Our applications are going to be taken there. Our distribution's going to be taken there. That's where all the toy drop-offs are going to be. So everything's going to be at that location. We're not there yet, but we will be shortly.
So if people are interested in dropping off toys, they might be able to do it there, though there are other places that they can drop off toys.
Yes, and people won't be there all the time. We'll have designated times when we'll have it staffed to accept toys there, but there will be probably, again, as there is every year, over 80 barrel sites in the county that people can drop off toys to. You. It'll be hard to go out and about during the season and not see a toy box to drop off toys into.
There are some people, and I know before the weather really changes or changes very much, because we've already had a little taste of winter, people are out doing their shopping now, the people who don't want to be out in the heavy snow and all of that. So what are you looking for Toys for Tots this year? Let's encapsulate that message, if it's changed any or not, Terry.
Well, we haven't got our applications yet to see where we're going to have high numbers, but typically every year we run into the same situation where we're looking for things for the under 2, the babies and under 2-year-olds, and the teenagers. The teenagers pose us some difficulties every year because it is hard to find the right gift for teenagers. So I would say something for anything over the age of 14 tends to be a challenge for us for both boys and girls.
So you need as many people as possible to donate as many new, unwrapped toys, gifts as possible. What else can the community do for you as you are looking ahead now at the beginning of the Toys for Tots campaign? What else can we help you with?
Well, we'll be looking for people to sign up to adopt a barrel, and what they can do for that is they can just call the Resource Center and we'll get them linked up with what they need to do, and that would be taking the barrel out to a business that has agreed to take it, checking it periodically to see how many toys are in there, and bringing the toys back to us. And that will go through the whole toy season, and then they bring the box back at the end. As we get closer, the week before Christmas, we'll be having volunteers come and sort toys and distribute toys and all that fun stuff. We'll be having people come and take applications with us. There's all sorts of different opportunities. We also look to a lot of clubs at this time of the year that want to come and help bag toys or that want to do mini toy collections of their own, especially this time with all of the holiday parties that are coming up. We're always asking people to think outside the box and possibly, instead of doing a $5 gift exchange, within their organization, to maybe donate a toy to Toys for Tots instead.
So for anybody who's interested in any of those things, would a call to the front desk here at the Resource Center be appropriate, or to you directly? What's the best way to direct our listeners?
Either way, if they call the front desk, they would be directed to either myself, Heather, or Mike Volk. And otherwise, they can call me directly at 661-1044.
We had not said the names Heather Brown and Mike Volk to this point in the program, but we should speak them again because they are the other 2/3 of the Toys for Tots coordinators, and together you work as a team to make this happen, to pull it off every year.
Yes, we do, and it certainly would not run without all of us having our separate roles and knowing what we do each year to make it happen.
Is it too early to announce sign-up information for those people who may be interested in signing up to receive toys for their tots this year, Terry?
No, it's not. It's a good time to actually get it out there because we probably won't be talking until some of these dates have passed again. In Dunkirk, the sign-up date's going to be Thursday, November 21st from noon until 3, and that's at 186 Lakeshore Drive in Dunkirk, the Resource Center location there. And in Jamestown, it's going to be Friday, November 22nd from 1 to 4, and Saturday, November 23rd from 9 until noon. And both of those are at that 211 West 2nd Street location, which is the old train station behind the ice arena.
Now, the There are other ways that people can become involved in Toys for Tots in terms of receiving these toys through social service agencies, and they may be contacted in the next short period of time, or may have been contacted already.
They have been contacted already. In fact, I have a whole stack of applications already in my mail that have been trickling in. I sent them out to all the social service agencies probably 3 weeks ago, and have been getting many calls, primarily about our new location change, because we were at our past location for several years now. So that seems to be a hiccup with everybody, but just making sure everybody gets to the right spot to get it. So some people have already applied. I would want to encourage people to, if they are linked up with some organization or an after-school program, to check with them first so they don't have to come down and apply at the walk-in and stand in line and bring all of their information, because their case managers or social workers can do that stuff for them and they don't have to stand and wait in line.
Again, the big news that you announced early on in our interview is that the Toys for Tots Toy Central has relocated to the train station at 211 West 2nd Street in Jamestown, and that's where the walk-in sign-ups will be on Friday, November 22nd from 1 to 4, and Saturday, November 23rd from 9 a.m. until noon. Do you know what part of the train station you'll be in, or people go in the right door, or just go in the main door?
We will have signs and sandwich boards out there at the time. I'm not sure which side we're going to be at yet. I think we're going to find that out later today.
Well, Terry, thank you for the background and introduction. I promised we would get back to 1 week from tonight, as this is broadcast one more time, November 2nd at the Jackson Center, just to let you hit on the important themes, say again the important information about this year's kickoff.
This year it's going to be November 2nd at 7 p.m. starts the hors d'oeuvres, and then the show will start at 8. I want to make sure we mention that we have a fantastic Chinese auction. We have over 35 things donated already, some things from gift certificates to Forte and Webb's and Holiday Valley, Chautauqua Institution, the Summer Wind, and many, many, many more things, and gift baskets and really beautiful things this year. So that's always a big hit for us. We'll have a 50-50 there that night. And then during our intermission, we always have a very, very elaborate dessert buffet for people to enjoy before the second half of the show.
And how much are the tickets?
$25.
Still available by calling you at 661-1044.
Correct.
Or the Resource Center.
Yes.
Carrie, always good to see you, and I always leave enthusiastic after I speak with you and the other coordinators about Toys for Tots because of the drive that you put into this drive. You too, I think, Steve.
I really don't do much. I help out when needed.
Well, I was thinking you catch the enthusiasm.
Oh, I do catch the enthusiasm. But you really do. I mean, all the years that we've been doing this program, I know every year when we do Toys for Tots, this is the thing that seems to strike a chord with you more than anything else. So that's very nice.
Get keyed up, maybe for toys, maybe for kids. I don't know what it is.
It's all good.
I don't know what it is, Steve, but it always is an exciting time. Now, we're kind of in a transition here at the moment because we're going to leave Toys for Tots and set up the next interview. So why don't we do that right now?
Right. Yeah, we have two big events going on right now. Obviously, the Toys for Tots Charity Ball is the first one. And then the following Friday on November 8th, we're having our second annual Art Life Conference, which is an event that the Resource Center's art instructor, Kristen Paduano McNitt, has put together, and she and the folks that she works with have really put a lot of effort into making this year's conference wonderful. It's going to be taking place at the Resource Center's administrative offices on Dunham Avenue, but let's go chat with Kristen because she will have all the details.
Kristen, thank you for taking a little time to talk to us today on Share the Vision about this year's Art Life Conference.
Thank you.
This is not the first. You have done these previously.
We've only done one. Last year was kind of our opening
inaugural
conference. Yes.
So the Art Life Conference, now that you're in the second year, talk to us a little bit about the idea, the way that this came to be, and what you hope to accomplish in this year's conference.
Well, being an art teacher here at the Resource Center, I found it a needful thing to go to a place to be refreshed, to learn, a place where I can, gather with other art teachers like myself and pull concepts and ideas from them. And that isn't really around our county right now. So the concept itself came from just a need here in this area to have a place where we can learn more about this and to spread this throughout this county. Arts for Individuals with Disabilities is a wonderfully dynamic program, and more people need to be trained and taught how to do it.
So you are inviting art teachers of the general community or those who work specifically with persons with disabilities? Who is the audience we are speaking to specifically that you would like to have come to your conference?
Well, in a broad general aspect, it could be a student that has interest in coming into a field where they would be working with individuals with disabilities inside of art. As far as from that to someone else in the community that's interested maybe in art therapy and hasn't maybe even gone into the field, wants to see what's going on in this field. And then for the artists themselves, the art teachers like myself. That would be
just anybody who has an interest in this area.
Yes.
Let's run through some of the highlights of the program and talk about, well, your keynote speaker certainly, because this is an impressive lady who's coming to kick the conference off here. And again, we're talking about Friday, November 8th. This will be at the Resource Center on Dunham Avenue, the administrative offices right outside Celeron. We'll talk about registration and information in a minute. But the keynote speaker.
Her name is Lucy Andrews. She is from Buffalo State College. She's developed programs for individuals with disabilities, students inside of classrooms in Buffalo. She's also an author, so she's very well known, and she's helped a lot of people that have a little bit of interest. Maybe they're not sure whether or not they want to go into this field. She's helped kind of give them the esteem and the know-how how to get into this field, what you're going to need for it. So she's going to be sharing a lot about the different avenues. Her speech itself is going to be primarily based around building that bridge and that gap between the art teacher from the schools, the art therapist, and art teachers like myself, and bringing them together to have the same kind of mindset of the arts.
And that is really a goal of yours.
Yes, it is.
The other sessions, let's talk briefly about some of the other things that will happen through the day, because it does run this entire day, Friday, November 8th. What are some of the other things? There are some choices, some breakout sessions that occur here. So let's talk about those.
Well, there's a couple instructors that actually work right now inside the field with individuals with disabilities. They're going to be coming in and talking about classroom situations. One is on patience and just how you're going to get through some things. The other one is maybe adaptive equipment, things like that, how to speak to individuals that can't speak, how to use sign language. There's just a lot of good tools. We're also going to do the breakout sessions, which are workshops. So it'll be hands-on instruction. Lesson plans will be given so that you can have, a folder when you leave, so that not only do you have the refreshment, but you also have, the
tools.
The tools, the map, and how to, start this process.
And the other... feel free to name any of the other people who are coming here, because I know you are bringing from the immediate Jamestown area and from the Western New York community some other people of note who have done a lot of work in this field that may be recognized by those who share your interest. Kristen, so go ahead.
Well, there are going to be some teachers from the Buffalo Aspire buildings. Alex Glenfield and Sarah Sonberg, they are two very dynamic teachers that Aspire has, and they're going to be giving some of their information. We also have Mercy Homer that's going to be with us. She's from the Fredonia area, and she works primarily with children and works with them with communication and music. So those are a couple other individuals that are going to be joining us. We have Deborah Eck that's going to be running a Painted Pages journal workshop to get our kind of creativity spinning on that. So, we have a lot of individuals coming out.
Let me just highlight a few of the titles of these programs, seminars, interactive things that you are doing, because I think they may help the listener understand the opportunities, the challenges in the work that you do. For example, the seminar that you are presenting, The Art of Patience and Not Giving Up on a Student. That suggests that it might not be the easiest thing sometimes to encourage a student to begin to pick up a brush or a pencil or to express him or herself artistically.
Yes, it can be a very delicate situation, especially in the very beginning of coming in as maybe a new teacher in an area. You want to approach things very patiently. A lot of individuals, they've never created real artwork before. I mean, someone's given them a brush and said, go. But when you try to kind of narrow that in as an artist and teach, that can be very delicate, and it's important to have the right tools to know how to get that done.
The other one that jumped out to me was being presented by Mercy Homer, and Mercy, again, is...
She works with children mostly. She works in Fredonia and does a lot of communication through music. She uses music, she uses dance, sign language to interact with her children that she works with.
And just the title of her session, Using Creativity to Tap into Communication. That's an enlightening idea for someone like me who doesn't do this kind of work all the time. I'll say it again for the listener. Using creativity to tap into communication. Sometimes one might think that the opposite might be true. The communication might help creativity, but this is just backward.
Yeah, I'm actually very excited to hear her speak. I've never actually had the opportunity to see inside of her classroom, but I've seen little pieces and segments of video from some of her lesson plans, and it looks phenomenal.
There are tools, special tools that will also be talked about through the course of the day that can help sometimes, particularly in a situation such as you are, where you are working with individuals with cognitive or physical disabilities. So the embracing of art might be a little more challenging for them than it may be for a man on the street.
Sometimes it's the opposite, where it is more apt to just jump in and take over. So it just depends on that specific individual.
Interesting, and not the answer I expected, Kristen. We have a little time left here, but I want to talk further about how people can sign up for this conference if they are interested. And again, we're talking about Friday, November 8th from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Resource Center's administrative offices outside Celeron. How can they get in on this?
Well, we do have a website that they can go to, which is artlifecon.com, and you can register right there online. There's also a printout format if you'd like to send your registration in. We are opening up the ability to walk in, because I know with a lot of schedules like my own, sometimes you don't know until the last day if you're going to be able to make it. So if you walk in with a check on hand or cash on hand, we'll be welcoming people in that morning as well. It starts at 8 a.m. for sign-ups, and it's over at 3 p.m. that afternoon.
What is the cost of the conference?
It's $75 unless you're a full-time student. If you bring your ID with you, the charge is only $35 for the conference.
And that's all day?
That's all day.
Now, you have some partners, and I just want to have you mention, in addition to the Resource Center, there are others that are helping you present this event, and we'll give the website, since it's interesting again and maybe a little harder to get through the air than it is on paper, artlifecon, CON.com, C-O-M, artlifecon.com. Who are your partners? Who's helping support this, bring this to life again this year, Kristen?
Well, the Arts Council is helping us out with some of the advertising and getting some connections made. The DJDC here in Jamestown is also going to be helping us out. They've given us a window space as well as helped us advertise. And we also have the Writers' Cup on board for the second year as well. They're going to be providing the coffee and tea and things for the event.
So there are community partners who are working with you to make this possible. And if people have questions, is there a way when they can contact you directly if they want to know more or just are curious about any aspect of the conversation we've had so far?
Of course. My office number is 716-661-1076, or if it's more convenient, an email would be fine. Write to kristen.mcnitt@resourcecenter.org.
I don't know if the audience can hear that in the background, but there's a little thumping going on in the other part of the room. There's a third being in this office at the moment, your art room, where we are doing this interview. Introduce your pup to us.
I have Sarah with me today. She's a service dog in training, and I use the service dogs in training inside of the art room. They're a wonderful tool for just to calm and create enjoyment and bring smiles to people's faces.
She was very quiet up till now. She'd been around us a little earlier, then went to lie down, but she had an itch or something, and she was scratching and hitting the desk over there at the same time. I don't know if that picked up on the recording or not, but it was interesting for us to hear that in the background. Kristen, a moment, and we do have just a moment left here, to talk a little further about the nature of your work here at the Resource Center day to day. Art conference aside, for those who are not familiar with you and your effort here, your very successful effort here over the past, well, how many years has it been now?
I've been here full-time 6 years and 7 years part-time.
And do you work with all of the consumers of the Resource Center, or some of them? With whom do you get to share this opportunity?
I have about 200 individuals that I work with at 5 different sites throughout this county. The program that I'm in is called the Creations Art Program from the Resource Center, and I get to go day by day to another place and bring art into that.
What have you learned? What has surprised you, just in general, about teaching art in this way, bringing art to creativity to individuals who are disabled?
Well, this is my dream job. This is what I wanted to do as a child, and I'm able to do it now. And coming in, I thought it was going to be something different, and it's still my dream job. People have surprised me. Individuals that I was told, that individual, you shouldn't work with that person. They've become shining stars inside the art room and really progress not only in the art room, but also it's reflected in their day-to-day lives as well. Individuals that maybe had a real hard time with anger or frustration, the art room has really helped them. And that's very rewarding when you see, and it takes time to see that happen with a lot of the individuals we work with. But over the years, you can really see a difference, and that's what makes this job such a wonderful job.
What were your expectations that were changed, though? You made it clear to us that while this is your dream job, it wasn't as you imagined it.
I thought I was going to come in and have, 7 individuals sit down, and we were going to teach. And that's not what works here. What works here is very one-on-one. I try not to have more than 3 students at a time, really focus on their specific needs. I had a lot to learn. There's a lot of different disabilities out there, and I needed to adapt myself to every human being, every person that I worked with for their specific needs.
And when you do that, though, you find that creative expression in them, in all of them?
I have. I haven't found one student that didn't feel like an artist when they were done, at least in a longer set of sessions.
I didn't have one student that didn't feel like an artist when I was done. The Art Life Conference expresses that spirit, and people are invited to this. It is 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Friday, November 8th at the Resource Center. Kristen Paduano-McNitt, thank you very much for your time, and thank you for sharing your particular vision today.
Thank you, Dennis.
Steve, that was a great trip down to 75 Jones and Gifford Avenue to get that information from Kristen about the second major event we're talking about for the Resource Center on Share the Vision today. It seems, regardless of the season of the year, you have a lot of things going here that engage the public and the community in so many interesting ways.
Absolutely. And, the other thing that'll be going on, and we referenced it earlier, was the annual Jamestown Holiday Parade, which will be taking place the first Friday in December. And we're very pleased this year to be co-sponsoring the parade with Lutheran, which is an agency that we've been starting to partner with and look into some opportunities to assist one another. So we're really fortunate and happy to be able to bring the parade to the community again with Lutheran.
And I understand that there will be some other changes that we can announce further on and will be announced publicly about the route of the parade. And we talked about the railroad station a little earlier. They're going to be more involved at the former Erie-Lackawanna train station, the Gateway Station, this year in ways that I'm not fully aware of yet. But a lot of exciting things are going to be happening downtown that first weekend in December.
Fantastic.
Well, to you, Steve Watterson, to Kristen, and to Terry, thank you all for sharing the vision today.